Good afternoon, everybody. It's a cold Melbourne day yet again in the middle of winter. I thought let's chat about reminiscing sorry, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. Reminiscing your wedding moments. I was going to talk about weddings. Sorry, I was just adjusting my camera. So I was going to talk about all things weddings and things like that. And then I decided, let's go down a trip on memory lane. Instead of let's talk about weddings, let's talk about, because I'm a wedding planner, so I want to know how it all started. I want to know where you met, how your husband or your partner proposed to you, and what are you thinking of doing for your wedding? They're just some of the things. So I'm a sticky beat because I love a little bit of love. So now we're going to go. So this is a little bit of down memory lane with engagement stories. What's your favorite engagement story? So what I've done here is as the years have gone on, I have quite a few couples that have come in and out of my house, in and out of my studio. We've done all the wedding planning and things like that. But the thing that I always start with, and I always ask my couples, which they think it's really quite funny, I go, how did you meet? What was the special thing in your life that made you shine? And numerous times I've been told off my couples that I didn't like him. She was a bit annoying, and now they've been married. But anyway, so it's interesting how you meet. Some people it's love at first sight. I have actually mentioned this on other Facebook Lives that I met my husband playing basketball against some forestry boys, and he gave me a black eye. Okay, I did not start going out with him there and then on the spot. He put his elbow through my eye as I went up. I, of course, being a wee little bit competitive, kind of elbowed him in the stomach and then dunked the ball. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? But anyway, I just thought, let's just go down reminiscing lane. I've written a few stories, so from my couples, because I had to go back into my mind. I had to go back in to see what I remembered, and the thoughts and feelings and the emotions that come every time I speak about one of the amazing stories that my couples have told me. So let's start some reminiscing. I'm going to start with me. Put in the chat how you met your partner, or more importantly, how did they propose to you for your engagement? What did they do that is special to you? In my case, we had just been to the theatre, nothing special. We're walking past a jeweller's at night, and there's some rings in the window, and my husband now, said to me, do you want to get married? I thought he was joking. I'm so sorry. That is as much romance as he actually had. And he goes, pick out an engagement ring. And I'm going, this is a bit weird as we're talking about it. And he goes, no, I'm serious. Let's get married. And that was his total proposal to me. No on one knee, no special car, no special restaurant, no nothing, just let's get married. So some people would say that was unromantic, but if you knew my husband and if you knew what a beautiful soul he was and how he made me feel special every day he was with me, it's that story to me lights my heart up. It's exactly the same as walking around the block with him when he was ill, holding his hand. To me, that story, that's a feeling, that's an emotion, that's a belief that I think is the most beautiful thing that could possibly come up. So Don't get me wrong, when I realised he was serious, I cried because I'd never thought of marriage as such, but I'd thought of marriage, if that makes sense. So, but probably to set the scene, and I should actually put up an image, we're in the middle of what is now called Bourke Street Mall in Melbourne. Then it was a street that went through, because you're talking about a long time ago, you know, back in the old days. And it was just good. It was just, and every time I work, that same jeweler is still here there. So how many, isn't this terrible? I can't remember how long. We got married in 1984. So you work that out. Yes, I'm old, but that's okay. I'm allowed to be old. So now I've got a story, and I had a gentleman ring me up. No, he came to me at one of the wedding expos, and he had this idea and his partner wasn't with him, and he had this idea to propose to his girlfriend. And he'd saved up all his pennies, and he decided, I'm going to propose to her, and we're going to land in the middle of a paddock, and I'm going to propose to her. And I go, have you organised anything else? And as we're starting to think about this, he'd had a semi-idea of what he wanted. And then, of course, the graphic designer in me, the wedding planner in me, decided I would just throw out some ideas to him. So by the time he'd finished, he was helicoptering her for a 20-minute helicopter ride in the middle of a paddock with a lane of LED lights, trees lit up with LED lights, with a table set up with champagne and little nibblies or food of some sort in the middle of a paddock, a wheat paddock. He was a farmer after all, so it was quite appropriate that it was a wheat paddock. So, which isn't that the most amazing story, that you can start with something very simple and you can expand it. The feelings that brings to my heart is just of joy and love and passion. I just think that's so romantic and so beautiful. Put in the chat, how did your partner propose to you? And if you're not engaged yet, how do you think, or if you're the proposer, how are you thinking of proposing to your future husband or wife? I love romantic stories. So please chat, put in the chat. Everybody loves a good love story. So now I've got it. By the way, I didn't give the gentleman a name because I can't remember it, and I do apologize too. But we did have, and I'm not going to say anything because we talked about this for about 45 minutes, so I should remember his name. But I'm so sorry. I didn't write it down, so I didn't remember it. Another story I've got, this one is of Laura and Will. Will had organised a picnic for Laura. And he had flowers and a picnic basket with all of Laura's favourite food, a bottle of champagne, and they were walking through this garden, and he'd fallen back and he yelled out her name, and he's on one knee. Then he goes, I'm so sorry, but I forgot the ring. I'm so sorry. And he's got tears coming down his eyes and everything like this. And of course, Laura was a bit suspicious by the whole arrangement anyway. So she thought he was going to propose anyway. And she goes, oh, that's okay. It's fine. You didn't mean it. Oh, another day. And so she sort of fobbed it off a little bit, thinking, well, not thinking nice things. So first off, he forgot the ring. Then he talks her into going back to the apartment and saying, come on, we'll do it another day. I'm so sorry. I'll surprise you again. It'll be really special. But as he unlocks the door, there's music on in the apartment. And there's silk silk rose petals on the floor and candles on all the shelves, all lit up, all beautiful, and another bottle of champagne at the end. Well, Laura realised that he suspected that she thought he was going to propose and wanted to make it a different experience for her, because he wanted to show her how much love he had for her and the fact that he had passion, and he wanted her to be his one and only. So he'd organised his friends to do all this, but of course, like I've put here, she cried like a baby, which, no offence, she was very disappointed that he didn't have the ring at the park when he's on one knee. But of course, she burst into tears and was crying and goes, yes, of course. And of course she did say yes, because I met him because they were getting married. I'm a wedding planner. Okay, these things happen. Anyway, next page. I just like having my little stories. So this is Reminiscing Wednesday. What date is it? I should actually say who I am. I never did say that. So I'm Beryl. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a wedding planner, and I develop wedding planning courses, and I also work one-on-one with clients for wedding planning and wedding flowers, because I'm a textile artist as well that makes artificial flower decorations for your wedding. So making art. I make pieces of art, handmade art for your weddings, from bouquets to actually entrances at your door. So I have the best of all worlds. So now we're going to talk about Catherine and Ryan. Catherine and Ryan wanted to get married. They'd always talked about getting married. We'll get married one day, etc., etc. One day Ryan wakes up and sits up in bed and goes, we're going to start planning. What? Planning for what? We're going on a holiday? No, we're getting married. We're going to get married. He had the whole wedding, both of them had the whole wedding planned in 3 months, had the whole lot organised. This is where I got involved because it was a very quick wedding. Everybody accused her of being pregnant because the wedding went through so fast. But no, they just decided, we've been together for 5 years, it's going to happen. After they'd organised everything, because they really wanted to elope. But like from the mum's point of view, I would not be quite as happy with an elopement. But as after they'd organised everything and told mum and dad that everything was going to happen and such like that, they go, are you pregnant? No, we just want to get married. But it's in 3 months' time. Yeah, everything's organised. Just turn up on this date. So they had to organise something very, very tiny. Kind of their wedding would have been very appropriate for COVID times, because there was only 25 people at the wedding. And it was such a special day. Again, those thoughts and feelings, those amazing emotions of happiness of, in this case, they didn't have a proposal. They just went straight from, we're not engaged, to, we're getting married and everything's planned. I don't think they actually had an engagement ring, because she wanted a really elaborate diamond wedding ring. So, but again, they came to me because when you're trying to organise weddings very quickly, you kind of need, sorry, all my computer's turned off, you kind of need some help. So it is possible to organise a wedding in 3 months, but you have to be realistic, okay? There are some things you have to compromise on. So that's the story of Catherine and Ryan. See how we can reminisce, and it's not just about the wedding. The wedding day is going to be special. It is something you're going to remember forever. I have talked about my wedding planning to you guys before, about my wedding. I planned my whole wedding, everything. I even designed my own wedding dress and built my own wedding cake. Come on. So now we're going to talk about Georgette and Gary. But before I start on Georgette and Gary, please, those that are watching me on replay, hashtag replay. We met at, and see what happens. He proposed to me at, maybe it was the Eiffel Tower, underneath the Eiffel Tower at midnight, as actually Big Ben can't strike it in Paris, but that's okay, as the clock strikes. And by the way, I have not been to Paris yet. Paris is one of the countries I have not been to, or France, I should say. So, yeah, okay, give me some leeway on what I'm trying. I'm trying to develop a story. The story is just as important. So please put in the chat, how did your partner propose to you? Share the stories. I'd love to share them on my website. That would make me so excited. So anyway, back to Gary and Georgette. Georgette was a very suspicious girl and kind of liked being in control of everything, and had kind of planned how Gary was going to propose to her. Well, Gary was kind of pig-headed and obstinate, a little bit like me, and wanted to be in control of the situation. So he decided to trick his fiancée. And at the time, so what he did was he got a brown envelope and he got it all typed up and sent to his girlfriend, and on it, it had confidential written across it. So, and this for your eyes only, you know, all the things to make it secret. And when Georgette or Georgie actually got the letter, she goes, "What's this? Looks pretty official." And Gary kind of goes, "Oh, maybe it's from the tax man. Do you owe ATO some money or something?" And of course Georgie is starting to panic. He goes, "Open it up, we've got to see what's in it." And when I opened it up, and we'll pretend this, sorry, I'm just folding a piece of paper here, and opens the letter up, and as he opens it up like this, the letter was in big writing. It says, "Will you marry me?" And of course she goes, "What's this? I don't understand." And then as she turned around to say to Gary, "Will you marry me?" he's on one knee with the ring. So he wanted to make the day special for her. So he had planned, he had thought it all through, and he thought the only way she would not be suspicious is to get a letter. If he took her anywhere, she'd be suspicious. So Georgie burst into tears. Us females are very emotional. I cry at most weddings. I always get a little tear in my eye as my couples walk down the aisle, and I get that special love and affection. See, thoughts and feelings create the belief of love. I love. So, but just think about it. Just think, how are you going to propose to your future partner? I'd love to hear it. Put it in the chat. So I just thought that was so special and so loving. So I've written myself a note here. What special memories do you have? Please tell me in the chat. I'm a sticky beak and I love a bit of romance. And then I've put down LOL. Well, for starters, I am a sticky beak. I will apologise. No, I'm not going to apologise. It's my job to be a sticky beak. I'm the person that helps you plan your wedding. So tell me, I like special. I would love to put up a blog post on all the special ways that all my Facebook people have met their future partners. Whether you met them or you've been engaged, they are all beautiful stories. Anyway, this is Beryl from Forever Yours Flowers. I'm on your side. I love a little bit of romance, and I would love to work with you. DM me and we can have a chat. Anyway, this is Beryl from Forever Yours Flowers saying love to you all. Stay home, stay safe, and tomorrow we'll plan your wedding. Isn't that exciting? Anyway, bye for now. Bye.